Great. Okay, thank you so much for joining us. Maybe some of you joined our earlier session today, which focuses on the sort of the bigger sort of perspective about the climate change related public understanding and the public engagement. And this session, we were going to be focusing more on the challenges that around the climate change reporting. So we're going to be really focusing on the journalistic aspect, as well as coming up with a lot of ideas for solutions as much as possible. So we only have 1 hour, and we want to make sure to have this session super interactive. So it'd be really good, like when we break out, it would be really good if you can put your bags on the side so we can move around and interact with each other. So if you can project the slides on the screen, that'd be really great. All right, cool. So this session is called Facelift Challenge, Collaborative Processes for Climate Change Journalism. What we want to, as I said, what we want to focus on is collecting from all of you the challenges that you experienced or you witnessed while you're conducting climate change reporting, or the person who's maybe like working in the field and then see that there's something that we have to do. So we want to gather as many challenges from you guys as much as possible, and the bottom line is that we want to document the entire process and then get also document the ideas, the crazy ideas that you might have to solve some of the challenges that we have. This session, we only have 1 hour, as I said. So we want to, instead of gathering so many different challenges from all across, we want to focus on 3 different topics. First one, story. Second one, formats and resources. And I want to give we have facilitators here, so each topic has a facilitator. And I want to give the floor to Alok first to kind of put the context of what we are talking about when we talk about story.
Right, when I'm talking about story, I mean literally the narratives around climate change, the individual people we're telling stories about, the scientists and people that it affects. For me, as a reporter in this field for a long time, I've done it in a very specific way. What would be really interesting is to hear challenges around how the standard storytelling formats, whether it's about disasters or whether it's about victims or whether it's about huge problems in the world or something else. How can that be turned around? How can we innovate around that? So where are the tensions? Where are there things that are too complicated to talk about? I'm particularly interested in that. Where are things where you think, nah, you know what, I can't tell this story because it's too complicated or too uninteresting. That's the kind of challenge I want to see, and then we'll try and work out solutions to those. So story is basically, where are we getting them from? How are we telling them?
Okay. Yeah.
Formats, okay. Hi everyone, thanks for having me. I'm gonna be in charge of formats. That's the thread I'm gonna supervise with my group. And when we talk about formats, we talk about the way we frame the stories in order to target the right audiences and reach the right impact. That means basically how we are gonna put together all the components that we are gonna build together to tell a story about climate change. Could be videos, could be data, could be interactive maps, could be VR, could be 360 videos, you name it, drone footage. Once you have all these ingredients, you want to put them together and combine them in a way that you can easily or at least smoothly target the audience that could be interested in the story you're talking about and you're telling. And also, not just that, but also transform that story into action in a way that people become more aware about the topic and understand it deeply and can change their behavior in a way that is going to impact climate. So, resources.
Hello, hi, my name is Elisabetta. I'm going to be the facilitator of the third group, resources. So in this group, what we will be facing are challenges that have to do with how or which resources are lacking, or how we can actually improve resources, which doesn't mean only money, and it has to do a lot as also with, for example, lack of knowledge or needs for training or ability to build a team that is able to face the complexity of the reporting in this kind of field, and so on. So I really urge you not to think only of economic constraints, but also all the other constraints or issues that could facilitate and foster our work. If I can add, and I will do it now, right? Just to go with the frame that Rina was actually putting, what we want from this session, what we would like to achieve for us and for you as well, is really a very practical sort of stream of consciousness about the challenges that come up to your mind, but then also the solutions. We really want to be able to turn from having a list of problems and challenges into something that starts turning ideas up for solutions. So how we actually tackle and trying to respond to these challenges and trying to find a way to go over the challenge and find some solution. So we will have the session split in different steps, which now Rina will go through. She will also be a timekeeper, serious timekeeper. We will work in 3 groups. So after this introduction, while you are actually getting up and coming over, writing down the challenges that come to your mind, which can be one or many, but it's very important that you separate them into these 3 groups. So if you have a challenge that comes up as a story challenge, you write into the yellow paper there, then there is, in the middle, there is formats, green paper, and resources, blue paper. So please just come up with very quick ideas and sentences and write down. It's very important for us to document the entire session we're doing, and to also be able to give back to you like the collection of all the ideas that we will then put together in a post, which we'll be sharing through Medium, and so you will also have the entire collection of ideas that we've been working on. One thing it's really important, don't think of something that has to be a full process. We don't have at this stage the idea that we get out of here in an hour having solved the problem of how to do reporting on climate change. The very important thing is to allow us to think in a fresh way and get up with many ideas, as many as we can, to collect them, okay? So it's really important to really just be active, interactive, talk to each other, and just be very open.
Great, yeah. So as we explained, we have facilitators. Each one of them has the thematic focus, story, formats, and resources. All the posters are here, so you can take grab it and then just basically write down the challenge that you identify under each category. And we also have contributors, the lead contributors who are in the room today, who already have thought about this. So they will help you throughout the process. They will help you kind of contextualize. They will also provide you some of the challenges that they have experienced and witnessed throughout this breakout session, the teamwork that we're going to be doing. So there's facilitators and there's also lead contributors. But again, it's everyone's contribution that we want to have to gather the challenge and solutions. So we are just right on time. We did the introduction. What we're gonna do next, the 10 minutes, we're gonna focus on understand. That what understand means is really writing down your challenges in a simple form. Don't write a really, like huge paragraph. Try to make it as concrete as possible. You can grab all the color, the colored post-its here. There's pens. So you can come up here and then write down your challenges. Once you complete that, make sure you give the challenge post-it to the facilitator. So Alok, story, I'm gonna give you the yellow post-it with you. Formats is the Jacopo, and the resources is going to be Elisabetta. Okay? All right, we have 10 minutes. Let's get started.
In these 10 minutes, we're going to reorganize the room and put the chairs together. So then we will have the resources group back there in the corner, okay? The format group here in the middle, and the story here in the front, okay? Resources in the back. Me. Resources in the back. Yeah, we will. So,
Prendiamo un bigliettino solo?
sì, o quello che volete, scrivete i problemi lì e mi date e me lo date. 1, 2 o 3, quello che vi viene in mente. Okay, we organize a bit the chairs. Okay, can you just add me there? Thank you. Ok. Ciao Carola, scusa, mettiti soltanto in un angolo. Mettiti là, così sei più tranquilla. Grazie. Scusa. Gruppone. Questa attività. Ok, that's it. E dopo lo rimettiamo a posto noi, eh?
No, era il problema che ti dicevo prima, ma ho risolto, cioè se è così è così.
Grazie mille. Okay, so again, while you're writing, resources group is there in the back, story group is here in the front, format it's here at this side, okay? So give us your tickets and then your resources, right? Yes, that's me. And then you can go down there. So blue tickets to me.
So we have 7 minutes left.
Come up and write down. Please. Go, Oscar, go. Right. Thank you. So, blue tickets for me, yellow tickets
Yeah.
for Alok,
So Alok is here, yeah.
and green tickets for Jacopo here in the middle. Let me just get a pen. Blue? No, resources is back in the corner down. So again, I repeat myself, resources back in the corner, format here on the left, story here on the right. Write down your challenges and give them to the facilitator, please. Sorry.
So we can go up to 25.
Yeah. Certo.
Lo so, perché lo streaming non possiamo fare.
Ah no, perché lui mi ha detto che l'aveva...
No, è un'altra cosa,
Ah,
invece
ok.
lo streaming dobbiamo tenere.
Ok.
Se riuscite più su quello che è nei limiti.
Va bene, grazie, ok. Okay, so the groups are already convening. Keep writing if you have more. Right. Resources is down here. I'll have to. I will. Is there any other people who want to come to resources group? We have few people in resources. Yeah, exactly. Huh? I know. VJ is coming over here. Okay, there are more tickets. Yeah, here. Okay. Thank you. Okay. All right. Yeah, okay. Right. I think we still have a few minutes to go. Resources down here, yeah. Yeah. Have you all written down your challenges? Thank you, Marta. Thank you. Brilliant. Take a seat. Thank you. Okay. So, okay. Oh, okay, you're keeping me busy with many challenges, I see. Okay. Sit down, come in, come in. Yeah, no, we're fine. We're going to be fine. If you're a smaller group, maybe we can actually leave some chairs out. Okay. Are you recording? No, if you want to, can you do that? Yeah. Okay.
Not many outlets.
Right. Okay. Yes.
I think it's better not to use.
Well, actually, they asked me to because they have the streaming on. Okay. Because they have the problem. Okay, so we won't.
Yeah, you can start if you already have collected. If your team already collected a good number of challenges, you can already start talking about it. The next step is actually written on the screen. So we are identifying challenges, that's why we have like clusters of post-its according to the thematic focus. And now each group will be selecting 1 or 2 challenges that can potentially be solved through collaboration. Yeah? So in order to help you with the process, we asked all the facilitators to facilitate, to basically turn these challenges into how might we solve this challenge through collaboration. So your selection criteria for the challenges, 1 or 2 challenges that you're going to be focusing on to come up with the different ideas for the challenge. We're going to be using this method, but if you have any questions, let me know. I can help you.
One is training as well. I think maybe in Western countries that's quite covered quite decently, but even then in the global South, I would say training is one of the main constraints to actually train journalists to not only be good journalists but also be able to make that bridge to science.
Right.
And one of the really big barriers that we see within our network of journalists is language. And I'm really happy that we have somebody who works at Deutsche Welle with us, because Deutsche Welle is one of the few bigger media that actually offers coverage in different languages, often also like very specified for localized reporting as well in many different languages. How can media this when they're less big than Deutsche Welle? For example, how can a national media concern make sure that they cover climate change not only in English but also in Indonesian? And then that relates also to even the vocabulary of climate change. How do you translate mitigate in Indonesian, in Swedish? And I mean, I guess in Western countries, a lot of this jargon is just taken over in English. But how do you
Translate the nuance.
How do you have this nuanced language if the main language is English?
Yeah, and there's also team building, collaborative journalism, because we need to do this in a collaborative fashion, not only skills but also languages. So that's something which we need, some networks. Yeah.
So I think we also have lead contributors in the group. So maybe if that's okay with you, we could ask those
Identify,
Jay,
yeah.
Marta and
Also Arthur.
to share, like in a nutshell, really your experience with that. So what's your idea of a challenge? Because you have been expressing and thinking about that for for a long time. And then we discussed briefly between us. I think we are actually doing very well because more or less the challenges are really they're very close. So we can kind of group them in more
So
or
it
less
comes under
two.
our three categories:
Yes.
people, skill, and money. Yeah.
Yeah. So Marta, you want to start?
Yeah, I mean, another issue that we found with our members, because our members are broadcasters from all over the world, in the Caribbean especially, they have a lot of editorial pressures, so their editors actually don't allow them to publish environmental stories. So, like, if they have an idea and they say, okay, I want to cover this, their editor would say, no, cover the politician, cover the corruption, because that's more important. So there is a drive for journalists, but they're not allowed to, like, put forward that work. And another issue is, as I said, the lack of data, because there are a lot of climate organizations in the Caribbean, but they don't get enough data. They rely on international organizations, especially based in the Western world, to give them data. That's often like they have to pay for it, and so it's kind of very unequal in that respect too, and that's a challenge for them.
Is there data coverage on these countries? I mean, for example, organizations like NASA and the really big organizations will have data on the Caribbean, but are there Caribbean organizations who actually collect data locally as well?
Could you please be a bit?
Okay, sorry.
Yes, and also slowly. So
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
There is
maybe you are.
Yeah,
Caribbean climate
that's a
change.
recommendation. Sorry, if we can all speak a bit slowly.
We're just so excited,
I
we
know,
want to say so many
It's
things.
just it's important.
Yeah.
We're also on streaming anyway.
And
so
now
it's
we
important
don't have that much time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No,
yeah.
we're fine.
Yeah.
We're fine with time. So we have 10 minutes to define the challenge we want to tackle, and then we have 20 minutes to ideate.
Okay.
So, go on the
So you are keeping track of the
I'm
time.
keeping track.
Great.
Yeah, and Rina is anyway. So,
Yeah. All right.
We are still running the define session. now.
Okay. Yeah.
So basically, first thing will be like, thank you, Mark, for that. I think that there's that access to data, access to information, lack of data.
And also freedom for journalists.
What kind of data what kind of data is missing?
It's like any kind of data related.
Everything is, there's nothing there.
Yeah, everything is happening there.
I mean, everything is hidden. Everything
No,
is
no,
there.
it's often also not recorded. Like, for example, if you look at the Congo, there's literally no data on Congo, on emissions, on deforestation. It's really difficult to make strong statements if there's no data to cover it.
So,
Yeah, it's
one way could be to say, okay, what is
No,
the
we're not.
missing
We're not
data?
going into the solution now. We're collecting the challenges yet. BJ.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I have had trouble as a freelancer trying to get outlets, get convinced on the type of stories, because I approached with my ideas to New Scientist, for example, and they just 1 week before COP23, the climate conference, they ran an article saying that we need more solution-based journalism, climate solution-based journalism. And then I approached them after I read that article, and I approached with ideas. Like, for example, the role of women in climate change in the form of land ownership and so on. And that is gender disparity in climate change, and gender poverty in bringing up the gender issue in climate change. That's really basically not many outlets do that, and those outlets do that. For example, Thomson Reuters Foundation, they do it just in the form of energy solution and also land ownership. So we need more outlets. That's really challenging. And
bringing those solutions.
yeah, exactly. Solution-oriented journalism. We need more outlets coming forward to that. So that was one thing. And another thing is to, as a freelancer, I wanted to participate in the Lookout 360 training. And also want to do collaborative journalism. As a freelancer, I don't have that big a network. So what we need is some trustworthy network. So where also freelancers can team up with big media organizations or other freelancers or translators, fixers. So that kind of networking is team building. That's necessary.
One that we haven't mentioned yet is censorship, which is maybe not in the Western media such a big problem, but I would say in like 80–90% of all countries, censorship is a really big issue, especially because climate change and the environment is not a very neutral topic either. It's a very politicized topic. Like we heard before, also even in the US, there's right wing and left wing, but often environmental issues like coal plants, the building of new coal plants are connected to corruption, to power structures, to
or mafias, for example, the recent Maltese journalists.
So all kinds of political structures that play a role, and there are there's so many centralized governments that really still control what people write about, and how do we?
Because it didn't come out.
No, it didn't come out yet.
But I think it's
but how do you? I mean, climate change is a politicized topic, but then how do you make sure that people who write about climate change are, first of all, safe and can freely write about the things that are important?
If you look at the map the Guardian has been doing the last
the defenders of the
defenders of the environment and how many people have been killed.
It's incredible,
really,
yes.
It's incredible. The numbers are really scary. So
and also.
Excuse me, can I listen something also from the other people?
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Not
sorry.
No,
only
I
three
was
people.
going to give it around.
Okay.
So, other challenges.
I'm introducing myself. I'm not a journalist. I'm a farmer. I'm a farmer of Umbria. So for me, it's not much problem of data. The data are so evident, especially for farmers in Italy, but elsewhere too. You know, in South Africa, I know, and in California, I have a friend, organic farmer in California. There has been a terrible drought, which does cut by 50% harvest of them. So the problem is how to get to the media to make them, underline not only the facts, but the reasons for the facts. And also the media speak, for instance, the drought in Italy last summer, the media have spoken, but then after 1 month, the rain came. After 6 months of drought, the problem. So you have to put this problem in the media continuously, and especially the reasons. The reasons are the fact that in Italy, for instance, the government in Italy has not spent the 90% of the money for electrical cars. I know this because I look into Google, but most of the people, all over, they do not connect this fact with the drought in Italy and all over. So this is the problem, not of the data, but the
analysis and long-term attention.
Exactly.
Yeah, keeping the agenda alive.
In my opinion, you told about the evidence and the impact of the climate change, but we need something to speak about that. So it's important to have data, access to data, and also the possibility to work on comparable data. Because it's very difficult to work with data that have no standard, that are completely different. And when you speak about the necessity of a network between journalists, I think that also we need another challenge is to build also tools and software to share, and also training, also online training.
Virtual training,
in order to share knowledge and improve the culture about these things. This is my opinion.
Good one.
Thank you.
I'm also thinking about that, that it's a bit about storytelling, but that it's very much driven by agenda when there's big events or anything, or there's big data coming up again. So to keep this alive, the challenge is to find different different storytellings and different formats. For example, to make the connection between journalism and what you said, other facts in the region, or to have a political issue scandal connected to climate change topics. But to find those people is also difficult. So it's more related to also team building things, and maybe, I mean, it's everything. It's language, team building, and collaboration to find these scandals, to make the connections between different topics, to prove them, and then to be able to report about that. And I mean, it's a big but that's the challenge to we need to tell other stories. We cannot be repetitive all the time and say, hey, these numbers came out, oh, it's getting worse. These numbers come 3 months later, oh, it's getting worse. And then have somebody who's just drowning by like a higher sea level, you know?
Yes.
For me, to come up in my editorial, I need something new. Yeah, to report in between of these kind of seasons, you know?
Yeah, I think we need to find the link and yeah.
Just keep the...
For me, I think the problem is that, especially maybe in Africa, especially in Rwanda where I'm coming, the problem is
Scusate,
the lack of
per favore, silenzio, se no non sentiamo. Andate fuori. Ecco.
the lack of the contextualization of the climate change issues. When people are talking about climate change, some local or citizens, they assume that it's something which is very far to them. So there is this need of convert this language into a local context. So for farmers for us who have farmers who have not yet at the school.
In which country?
Rwanda.
Rwanda.
Yes, where the level of education is not high, where people cannot access to the information via internet. So, my concern is to contextualize these climate change issues in a local language, in a simple language, accessible to by many people. Another problem is the access to data, is the problem of the reports done by organizations, scientific, are not accessible in a simple language. So there are many, you can read it, but journalists are not experts in everything. Sometimes if a report of a study or survey is published, even in the country or outside, there is a need to explain more those reports. And when it comes to the other point of collaboration between the researchers and media, the reports are in a language which is not accessible by media people. So there's a need to make it, after publishing, to make it easy to journalists. Yeah.
Okay, I think just for the last challenge.
But more than a challenge, it's at the beginning of a solution.
No, so
what
we
she said.
I
talk
no,
later.
because we start now.
Later.
If you, I would say, so we collect like all the challenges, and basically what I can see, but I really want you to agree on that. I mean, I ask your opinion on that. We could maybe tackle two, kind of grouping all of the things, because they're quite, one has to do a lot with this idea of building a way of making the data accessible and finding the data, understanding the data. So the whole issue around how this data can be taken out, made accessible, and also
relatable to daily life.
Exactly, relatable to daily life. So this is one issue which is big, but I mean it's one way, and the other way might be the fact of working a lot on how to connect this in teams that can kind of work on a medium or long-term basis, so that the agenda is kept live and not, you just don't have this emergency reporting that comes up once in a while or when you have something. So there are two small challenges, there are two global challenges in a way, but I think we could keep them together, because in these two things, lots of the things you were saying are all more or less comprised. The language issue, which I totally relate to, I would put it more into this, because data and language are
how to translate
Exactly.
these data into
Also
Exactly.
to team,
So-
because we need people to.
Yeah, so, okay, so in this phase now we're entering the
Yeah.
ideation phase.
So we should now move on to ideate session. You have 20 minutes.
We use the memo there, so you can keep each.
You have 20 minutes to come up with as many ideas as possible for solutions to solve the challenges that you identified, you decided. You have 20 minutes for ideation session. Yeah.
So I say, I would really think that the issue of, I mean, if you have an idea on how to tackle that and want to give a solution, but I would really stay on this.
For those who are holding onto a pen, can you please share with the team formats if you have pen, because we are just lacking them a little bit. So
Because I
great,
think
thank you.
If we keep these two things where most of your contribution were on these two issues.
I gave you the notepad.
How to access
Ella,
knowledge, how to make it
give some.
relatable to local knowledge, how to work on that.
So you have the memo pads. I think it would be really great if we can collect all the solutions
and then how
these
to
memo
keep this
pads.
working so the team and collaboration effort. I say these
Yeah,
two
sure.
looks to me like the one that most of you have been discussing as a challenge.
And it doesn't have to be a completely new solution.
No.
You could also give show examples and use
Yeah.
that in international context.
Yeah. So idea here is, if you feel like working on your own and write down solution, ideas, hints, or if you want to discuss in 2 or 3 people, we can do either way.
Yeah.
So just to give each one the possibility to either discuss with someone else or just think on
Yeah,
your
if you
own
want to
and
think
write. We
alone,
have
you could,
freedom.
or we can discuss.
Exactly.
And,
So I say, for the first 10 minutes, really feel free and decide if you want to discuss 2 by 2 and then we make a point and then we have 10 minutes more.
Yeah.
Because maybe discussing or writing, then the challenge becomes more concrete. Like the economic issues, obviously, right?
Can I?
So,
One thing, would it be interesting to say what would be the ideal thing? So what I would like to
yes,
arrive.
absolutely.
Yeah, propose.
So maybe I don't-
Ideas can be.
But
can
maybe
be,
we don't have now how to
Of
get
course,
there,
no
but that's
problem.
where we want to go.
Yeah,
That's fine.
It could be.
Drill down.
It could
it's
be
perfectly
futuristic
fine.
idea.
Doesn't
It could be
matter.
as crazy as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
it could be a crazy idea. Crazy, I mean far
Very
away,
futuristic,
or
yeah.
something that you have there. It's okay.
Yeah.
What we're trying to build here is a process, a long-term process. So we will both welcome very applicable, very practical things we can do now, or very long-term.
I didn't express myself. I'm like, maybe I don't know how to get to long-term attention to the media,
Yeah.
but I would love to have, like, for example, every week there is an update.
That's okay.
There's a regular
That's
thing.
an
So
idea.
that's
Yeah,
another.
yeah. That's
That's
an
a
idea.
very good idea.
Yeah.
We don't need to say how you do that.
Okay,
It's not a
just the
feasibility
long-term
study.
goal.
No, it's just to say what in your idea would be one or more solutions. So we're just trying to turn the question, the problem, into potential solution, which could be a weekly report or whatever, a monthly conference
Or creating a
training.
Facebook group,
exactly,
for
or a
example.
platform for training, whatever comes
an
to
app,
your mind.
yeah, something,
Exactly,
yeah.
an app, whatever, okay? Even like looking for a fund specifically focus on that. So we really want to raise and collect as many ideas as we can. And the idea is to collect them, put them all together, and then share them in the group,
Yeah.
okay?
And
So
we are
I
going
say
to
you can.
document every idea. That's
Yeah,
something
exactly.
we need to tell. We are going
Exactly.
to take into account every crazy idea that we are
Every
coming up
crazy
with.
idea. So you can either write on your own if you want, or if
Or
you
I
want
have
to talk
big
to
papers if you want.
To either topic, like
on one of these two.
data or
Yes, either.
big paper.
playing with one or
No. You can. So we basically use these 2 macro topics as our challenges to face, and we just go with ideas on this. Either one, it's fine. Both of them, it's okay. You're really free. What we really want at this stage is really brainstorming.
So just to remind, so it's the access and ease of understanding of data,
Exactly.
and then team building.
And then team building.
Okay,
Team
good.
building in a broad way. So
Yeah.
how you keep it like
Could
on
be
an
anything,
agenda in
yeah,
a long
yeah,
way.
yeah.
How we put people together, which kind of people we want to be working together, like farmers, scientists, media, local institutions.
All the stakeholders of of climate change.
Everything. So anything that comes up to your mind as a potential solution, either it's something we can do now, something you'd like to see done now or in 5 years' time, that's okay, right? And also, I really encourage you, if you want to work on your own and write down, fine. If you want to talk 2 by 2 or 2 over 3, that's fine as well. No problem. It's really a freedom step so that you can actually write down anything that comes up to your mind, okay? And if you feel you want to share that, that's okay, no problem, right? No, it's just to give everybody the space, exactly. Okay. Yes. Sorry, I'm here. Oh, that's my phone. Again, just to make an example, many of you have said problem of access to data, but then there is also a problem of formats. Data produced by scientists are not exactly the open data that we have on open data platforms. So how would you tackle that, and what kind of solution can you come up with?
There's, for example, a lot of interactive maps as well nowadays.
Exactly.
That sort of show these data in different ways as well.
What I want to mention earlier, I've been working on something on plastic. So we had NGO and scientists brainstorming on 30 questions, and then the scientists answered to the 30 questions. And there were different people together, so we did not agree, but we came up with a common answer to a question.
Yeah.
So there was a consensus among the scientists of giving a simple answer, and I believe we have written down answers in a simple way that can be understood from everyone. So we
That's
said,
a good example.
now we have to share this with NGO that do campaign for plastic, but also with journalists that write about plastic, because sometimes I read something that is wrong on the newspaper.
So that's a good example of a solution,
So
like
this is
a sort of a way to put scientists to work with.
And then we have not done that, but maybe you could also, every scientist is welcome to join on our platform. It's visible who participates.
Okay, so that's a very good solution.
See, this is an example.
That's a fantastic example, yeah.
To do, and everybody can come in. But then when you go and say something as a scientist, you say, no, climate change is not real. You have to motivate it, and you will have
Okay, but we don't go into this discussion. We're just going to say on the ideas now. Right.
would know how to answer to you.
Exactly. Okay.
If you have some ideas that you want to share, for example, on the language issue, which means that in many languages, language means the language,
But also the scientific language, the jargon.
Exactly. So there are many. Also, it's the language of numbers versus the language of stories, for example. So words and numbers are not necessarily the same thing either, right?
Can I have another? Because I wrote, I'm not reading it, so nobody.
Big one.
But we can use the memo, the white memo. What is the memo blog?
Yeah, she has.
Who has it? Oh, that one. You can write them. Keep those because that's very good. Yeah.
Filling up the page.
Yeah, time.
I think we still have some time. Let me just check.
Yeah, we do have
We have time until 55.
55, yeah.
Okay, so we still have 10 minutes to go with loads of ideas. So I'm just going to get my glasses because I can't see anything without it. Be back in a second.
I think here will be interesting to hear from Jacob from that side because he works for Code for Africa. So basically they try and create really open source, simple tools to create tools that people can use to collect data, to understand data. So he might have a few good ideas on this as well.
Well, there are a few to visualize basically. Data wrapper, for example. You know that?
There's quite a few simple data
There's quite a
visualization
few.
tools.
But it's possible for media organizations like Deutsche Welle to invest in data wrapper to make the fullest
basically
use.
they invented it, but now they're not able to use it anymore.
Yeah, but
they're thinking about
freelancers with
investing in
limited resources, they need to invest a lot of money. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is also to get adequate data sorted logically, and sometimes you just have the visualizations but you want other numbers out of it.
Of course.
So you need just a raw material, and sometimes it's like, okay, you have some massive raw material, but
I just want these to be
just
seen.
want this it needs to be logically sorted out and being presented in both ways.
But does that mean, for you, would that mean just having in your newsroom a data person who can really...
Yeah, we're working on that.
Like having every newsroom would have somebody who really knows how to work with these numbers, extract the thing that you need for this story, and that's it.
For example,
Because
or myself.
Yeah, or yourself, but then everybody needs to be trained in this as well.
Yeah, or there's one person who's better in that.
Share a data journalist among different.
But that only works for newsrooms who have the economic, who have the means to do this
Maybe
as well.
several. I mean, you can put cheap money together and pay one person that works for 10 different journals and do the analysis.
Oh, that's a good idea. Put it down.
No,
That's a very good idea.
I have an addition to that. So whoever wants to do that, they could just create a network. Like I wrote here a Slack group or a Facebook group of stakeholders and media to talk or discuss local climate problems. So it could crowdfunding, participating in this kind of thing with their expertise. For example, could be a podcast maker, it's a video journalist, one with drone, one with and everything. So and one farmer or other stakeholders like an aquaculturist, similar people together, and then we as a team make a crowdfunding approach.
I think
that could
if you make a crowdfunding, many will give money.
that could help. Yeah. At least that community of people which is getting affected by climate change. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. So we have collected everyone's email addresses because we want to follow up with all of you after this is shared. So I'm going to give you the list, and you have to write down your email. But if you don't hear from us, get in touch with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
I had enough.
Yeah, what you said, like multiplying knowledge is a big factor. When you can afford these guys, maybe just useful. You have one of these people, just give me the contact and ask him if he's like voluntary, maybe giving an afternoon class once or twice for the people.
Sure, then we're again at
Just
training.
like, training again and engaging more people, also local reporters on that topic. I mean, it's not just a big scale thing. It's very local, as you said, for example.
Yeah.
I think it's not just about the national media to report on that. It can be very concrete for you and other farmers also to gather your resources and convince the media in the region that it's a topic to talk about.
We are the ones who suffer the most from climate change.
Yeah. So I think I've written an idea similar to that. So create webinars or online video tutorials. So it's also for journalists, but also for citizen journalists. So, for example, if you would like to report on your local situation as a journalist, you are a farmer, but you can do that as an immersive journalist.
I don't have the name.
Citizen journalism.
Yes, that's why there should be a group. So yeah, either someone like you could work with journalists, or maybe you are the contact person. I come to you, and then you talk to me, and then you put me in touch with other people.
On this, she wanted to add something on this.
Yes, the citizen journalism for me would be.
That group is quite
Yes,
loud.
the citizens journalism for me, I think it will on climate change. It will be better because it should even inform classic media
Yeah.
about climate change issues, but also about success stories in climate change,
Yeah.
find solutions, because
Yeah.
at the local level there are some solutions, but
Yeah.
we don't
Right.
know them. For example, one example in my country, they discover a mean of preservation of the harvest, which is not chemical.
Yeah.
But people, they don't know how they can using pepper, piri pepper,
Yeah.
to preserve the harvest. So those kind of things, people, they don't know. So for me, the citizen journalism will inform,
Yeah.
will be better
Undermined.
to that. But in addition to that, I think it's also better to train editors.
Yeah.
If I say this, it's because editors, they're the one who authorize the story to be published. But sometimes the climate change issues, like she said, is not in their interests. So because they lack knowledge also, but because they are interested by other burning or political issues. So for me, this is very important, not leaving behind editors.
Yeah, and also editors need to be a little bit open-minded with regarding language issues. If the editors are Puritans with regard to English, then you will not get the story out. If you are a pedant, then it's like hell with you. I'm not reporting the story to
Okay,
you.
so
And I
we
would
have
try to
3
find an outlet,
minutes
different
to wrap
outlet,
up
so
the
editors should
ideation
be
session.
open-minded.
In the group or
Okay.
to the assembly?
With all the group now, in the plenary, and also, as Rita was saying, we will send an email to all of you because we're going to write a Medium post, which already we aim at doing it early next week because these days we are here and it's a bit complicated. And then we're going to send it and share it, and the idea is to again to use it as a basis to build.
The case,
Yeah, to build cases and to start looking into direction of what we can actually start building, right? So I think, I've gone quickly, of course now the time is really tight, through all of these solutions. Again, I have to say this group is really good because there are lots of overlaps, which is good.
Quite international.
Yeah, it's international and that's really good. I agree with the fact that some problems are actually shared at all levels, and I think there are very good suggestions here, and we will put them together also with the suggestions that come up.
Can I add something? Regarding to because we were talking a lot about webinars and online things, and I realized in many parts of the world there is no strong internet connections that would allow for people to participate to webinars.
Right.
There is no internet, so I thought maybe if we had some webinars, then we could record it and the local radio could broadcast them.
Right,
And
that's
there could be
another
local
good idea,
radio,
super idea.
or TV.
Actually, I was thinking the same, because in some of the African countries and also in India, radio is quite
translating them.
popular.
Yeah.
Radio is quite popular.
And
translating them
Yeah.
in local language.
Excellent idea. Yeah. Making use of the radio and converting the online webinar into a radio podcast.
Okay,
Also
we
improving
actually
format.
have to gather
Improving format.
up again.
Improving format.
We only have 5 minutes to go and we have to leave this room.
Format for every audience.
Before we break the group,
Because young
can I
people-
know?
Hey guys, we have to stop now, the ideation stage. And I want to give each and every team the facilitator to speak up
Here, no.
and then share the ideas with the room. I know this is not to make consensus. I know there's so many different ideas out there. There's no point, our point is really to get as many ideas as possible from this room. Yeah? So you don't have to make consensus. On that note, I want to give the floor.
Rwanda.
Who's ready? Who's ready?
We have now to go back.
Elisabetta, are you ready? Okay, cool. All right.
And we will, the idea is very
Close the recording now.
Okay, so we only have literally 5 minutes and then we have to leave the room because there is a next session. So we are now giving very fast. So, okay, so I will just go quickly into the resources group. We've been basically focusing on 2 challenges, macro challenges. One was about the problem with access to data, formats, raw data, language formats, because scientific data are not always understandable by journalists or by citizens and so on. So there is this big issue of how to make the data available. There is also an issue of censorship or transparency there. That's one challenge. And the other challenge is building teams that can work on a long term and even cross media. So not only one media, but like having more media collaborating, right? So lots of suggestions. I just give quickly a couple of them. Lots of interest on training in different formats, because even the online training in many places are not necessarily a good idea because not necessarily accessible. So there could be online training, but then even podcast training, recorded training that's being locally broadcast. Lots of attention to local stories and communities. So making also the stories coming up from local and going up the scale and back to the media, and cross-border collaboration between journalists, even citizen journalists, and trying to get that in a network that works together in a long term. So building, also finding the resources to actually get there. And so not just for one story, but with a more long term. This is really a huge summary, like very quick, but I will leave on that.
Great. Thank you so much. All right, who wants to go next?
This was the story the story group, and so we identified two challenges from all of the ideas. Well, number one, how to tell the same story again and again without using non-technical language, and to keep people interested and motivated about this issue. And challenge number two, how do you reach people with stories outside silos? That could be scientific silos or silos across political divides. People are not interested, I suppose. And some of the solutions, I mean, there are lots that have come up. So challenge number one, how do you tell the same story again and again? Perhaps, so I'll give you some examples of the answers. So that you've got perhaps doing long form stories where you follow scientists for a long period of time and before their work is published. Find solutions that showcase, find stories that showcase solutions to problems rather than anything just outlining problems. Come up with more creative protagonists to generate more empathy. There are others as well, which I'm sure we'll share with you later. The challenge number two, how do you reach out to political silos? Some of these, there are lots of example ideas here. Research local community values with local non-profits. Find people to interview. Talk to people that don't care and understand why. Find common ground. And these are sensible ideas. Build trust with people's experiences so that rather than simply stating that there are problems with climate change, find local angles, find new ways of distributing stories. There's more there as well, but really good ideas.
Great, thank you so much. Right, we have like 2 minutes.
Thank you. We have two challenges here. This is the format thread. This fantastic group of people have been discussing very passionately about these topics. The first challenge is how might we blend human stories with scientific data in our format? And we came to the conclusion that once we identify our audiences, and we're starting from the assumption that we are embracing a large amount of people, this is very, very complex, but let's say that we have a general audience and a global audience. What we do, we provide data to contextualize over time and space our story, but we also want to trigger empathy by interviewing people on the ground, communities that have been hit by climate change, for example. This way we can empathize and we can kind of go more emotional without just providing numbers. And we mentioned a format used by Vox.com. You probably guys know it. They blend interactive maps, data visualizations, animated videos, animations, charts, together with documentaries or short videos with stories about people. That's something we really found very interesting. The other, the other challenge was more about, how might we create an inclusive story package? Because we don't want to talk to just one audience, and we came up with a checklist. So first of all, we identify the audiences we want to hit. Second, we kind of list all the ingredients we need to target all these audiences. It can be like rural communities in Chad area. So how do we target them? For example, we can make some radio stories. But the same radio stories can be converted into a digital SoundCloud that can be run and broadcasted globally. So we played a lot with the ingredients, and we came up with a checklist. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. So what we're going to do is that we're going to put everything together, all the process, we documented it. So if you can make sure to hand in your post-its or the memo pads to the facilitator that you haven't done yet, that'd be great if you can do that. And we will email you with the link to the document that we're going to be creating, okay? And if you haven't shared your email addresses, make sure you come to me. I will give you my card. I think I gave it to everyone, but in case I missed anyone, let me know, okay? Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming over.